Hey guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. And this week we're a little bit late once again. It was not intentional, but last week I was on vacation again and we were out of the area. And so I wasn't really in a position where I could film. I did do that last week's video while I was on that trip with our rental car. And anyway, we got home and life got busy, just getting caught back up. And so no new video, but I want to get us caught back up. So I'm going to film this one. And then hopefully the next one will be posted on the correct day and we'll be back on track. So hopefully. Anyway, now that that's behind me and I've apologized to you guys, I want to dive right into what we're going to talk about this week. So prior to our vacation, we actually went camping for a weekend with some friends of ours. And the campsite that we went to, if you guys are, campers yourselves, we have a camp trailer, and I'm sure you've seen it in the background of some of my videos and whatever else, but it's a real nice pull behind trailer. And the campsite that we were at was very hard to maneuver. I'm not new to pulling a trailer. I can do it well. And backing a trailer up's never ever been an issue. And these spots were such that they were very, very challenging to maneuver, even for someone who knows what they're doing. And so when it was all said and done, my wife and I kind of had revisited a conversation that we actually had while we were driving to the campsite. And what that was it would be really cool to have a backup camera behind the trailer. So the reason that we had the conversation to begin with was because I had a very small car tailgating me up a hill. And when I'm hauling a trailer that has water in it and our gear and my pickup's full and everything is, full on the way out to the campsite, it's not a light endeavor. The truck is heavy, the trailer's heavy, all the stuff. So I'm not really accelerating up this hill. In fact, I'm actually slowing down the farther up the hill I go. So anyway, I made the comment to my wife. I was like, man, I really wish I could see that guy behind me. And I wonder if there's anybody behind him. Like, I'm curious to know how many cars back it is. So that's what kind of started our conversation around having a camera that could see out behind the trailer, because my trailer is wider than my truck and my mirrors don't quite extend out beyond the edges of my trailer. So I have pretty good vision, but not entirely. I can't see directly behind me. So the long and short of it is we were driving up this hill and my wife's like, oh, let me look on Amazon and see what's out there. And there's a million different backup cameras. And if you guys remember, only a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, we installed a backup camera in my daughter's Eclipse. And I did a whole video about how easy it was and how you just run the wire and, it was a piece of cake. We were done very, very quickly. Well, immediately my next concern is, well, I need to make sure that, either the wire is long enough to run from the inside of my pickup to like the back bumper of the trailer, which is a long ways. My trailer is like 25 feet, my truck, the length of my truck. So I need a wire that's at least, 50, 60 feet long, because I can't just run it in a straight line, right? I've got to like run it. And anyway, I need more wire than that, or it needs to be wireless. And sure enough, they make them. They make wireless backup cameras that basically just have a little antenna and super awesome. So my wife found 2 or 3 that had really good reviews, put them in our shopping cart on Amazon. And then when we got home from our camping trip, I had better service. I was able to look and read and figure out which one I wanted, and I bought one. So what I'm going to show you, and it's actually magnetically attached to my lift. So you guys might hear this as I like disconnect the magnet, but it's pretty freaking big. It's pretty heavy. Oh, you didn't hear it. But here it is. Now it's got this large heavy duty magnet on the bottom that's truly like this thick. And when I set it down, you'll hear the clunk. And then I pick it up and it sticks really, really well. There are also 4 mounting holes, 2 on each side. So I can screw it down, which I may do. We'll see. But the cool thing about it is it's got a solar charging rooftop on it there. There's the antenna. And I actually left the little plastic lens cover on there for now because, well, I want to keep it nice and new. But literally, there's a charging wire that plugs in and you can pre-charge this thing. And then you've got a power button. So you literally click it in place, hit the power button, And then inside the truck, much like my daughter's setup, right, there's a screen. And this thing is 7 inches, it's huge. It has 2 antenna on the back. So here, I'll flip that around. It's got 2 antenna on the back. And then there's a windshield suction cup mount. And I mean, it's a really nice size. And then, again, much like my daughter's Eclipse backup camera, it plugs into the cigarette lighter, and this is the power button. So I literally plug it in, press the button, this turns on. There's no, it just syncs automatically. There's no setup. This thing literally took 2 minutes to work. I clicked it to my windshield. My son ran back to the back of the trailer and hits the power button on the camera, and it immediately pops up. And so it's incredible. The resolution is really good. The picture is really clean and clear. And I mean, I'm super impressed. And really, this thing was 80 bucks. And I mean, that's an incredible deal, I thought. I thought that was insane. And so it's not something I'm going to keep in my truck all the time. I don't need to have a suction cup mounted monitor in there all the time. But I mean, it's portable enough that I can just keep it in my garage. I'll grab it when we go camping or anytime I'm going to move the trailer. And then because it's magnetic, I can clank it on there and it'll stay. I don't know that I would drive a long distance with it on there, just in the event that it falls off. Like, that would suck. But on the flip side, it has a heavy duty enough magnet that I honestly think it could go a distance. So again, I'm probably not going to ever do that. What I might do is figure out a way to like zip tie it to the trailer rather than fasten it with screws or bolts, because I don't really want to drill into my metal bumper. And I feel like zip ties would actually work really well, coupled with the magnet. And then, yeah, just suction cupping the mount or the monitor to my windshield, kind of out of the way. It's huge, but the Raptor has a pretty big windscreen and windshield, so I've got plenty of visibility. I can have that up there without any issues. And then it's one cord that just runs down to the cigarette lighter. And if it's not being used, I unplug it and I can coil it back up. In fact, like that's kind of how it is right here, right? So it's just, it dangles down to my cigarette plug, and then the extra wiring kind of fits into a little slot, and it's really, really kind of slick. So very, very cool. I just basically wanted to share that with you guys because, you know, it's not a super common issue, but anybody who tows with any vehicle, right? You don't have to have a Raptor. You don't have to have a trailer, you don't have to have a camp trailer. It could be any trailer. It could be a flatbed trailer. It could be a, you know, whatever. And you could be towing it with your Hummer or your whatever, right? Your Escalade, who cares? Anything. This setup is pretty sweet, and you can move it from car to car, vehicle to vehicle. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put it in my 55 truck and just, again, put the camera on the back bumper, and now I have a backup camera for that car too. So super versatile. I really love the fact that there's no wires. You just have to have a cigarette lighter, and that's it. Again, you pre-charge the camera. Oh, this magnet is strong. You pre-charge the unit, and then it holds a charge and will continue to recharge with the solar panel on top. And, you know, they do recommend you hard charge it first to full. And there's a little status light on the side above the power button. But the idea there is once it's charged, you should be able to drive with it. You should be able to utilize it and use it for a length of time and let the solar panel on top recharge it or keep the charge. Now, the other cool thing, and I keep clicking this thing down before I'm done, really the other cool thing is this overhangs. So it creates kind of a shelter for the camera lens, reducing glare, which I thought was awesome. I think that's a huge feature. You know, on the backup camera that my daughter has on her car, it's attached to the back of the license plate, or of the back license plate. And it's recessed in kind of under an overhang. And in her car, there really isn't too much of a glare. But when this thing is raw and exposed and just sitting out in the sun, if the sun is directly behind me and I'm driving away from the sun, so to speak, it could create or cast a glare. And so I think having kind of this overhang, again, protects it from the elements. It will block a lot of the sun glare, and it would keep it from getting too wet. Obviously, you're still gonna have like road moisture kicking up on there, but if it were actively raining, for example, in theory, it would be totally fine. And then the other thing about it before I totally put it away is that this thing tilts. So you can aim your camera up, you can aim your camera down. It all depends on how you want to position it. And so if you, like I had this thing attached to the top of my bumper, but if I wanted to, I could put it on the bottom of my bumper and then angle it the way I want it. I could actually attach it to the front of, or the back, whatever the end of my bumper, the side of my bumper, and then turn this thing. You could do whatever you want. And I love that. I like that. There's a lot of flexibility with it. And again, it was $80. And now I can have a backup camera in any vehicle that has a metal back bumper. And I mean, again, super versatile. I think that's money well spent. And the setup was like seconds. It was really, really fast. So if you want to know what camera this is specifically, shoot me a message or comment on this video and I'll post a link. But otherwise, I just went on Amazon and found it. Again, it was like 80 bucks. It was on sale. Normally it was like 129. And I think it was like 40% off or 35% off. And I don't know it might always be on sale. I don't really know. When I was looking at it, the 7-inch screen was the exact same price as the same camera with the 5-inch screen, but the 7-inch was on sale. So I bought the 7-inch instead of, I said 80, I wanna say it was actually 89. And I think the 5-inch is normally 89 and this one is normally 129. So when I got it on sale, I went ahead and got the bigger one because it was the same price. So anyway, if you have, or tow or whatever, a trailer, I definitely recommend something like this. Even if you're an excellent driver, even if you're an excellent backer-upper, occasionally you just need to make sure there's no debris, there's no animals, there's no kids, there's no people, whatever, behind your trailer. Rather than guessing or having a spotter back there, obviously you still want to have a spotter, but this actually takes a lot of the guesswork out. And so again, for this particular campsite, this would have been a huge value because I could have maneuvered around trees and then backed up and done my thing way easier. Having my wife help was great, but she was on one end of the truck or one corner of the truck. I was backing it up and then I jumped out and wanted to inspect my side, my back corner. And this, if I had had it, would have saved me a ton of time and it would have been really cool to have and helpful. So that's really all I got for you guys this week. What do you think? Have you guys ever towed with a reverse camera? Like, is that a thing? I think this is still relatively new. I don't know anybody who has a backup camera on their RV or maybe on their motorhome, but on a camp trailer, it's pretty much unheard of in my world. I don't know anybody who's done that. And now that you can do it for under $100, why wouldn't everybody? So pretty cool. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is it a waste of money or is it something that you could see yourself using? I think it's great, but again, you don't have to have it. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, hit that notification bell, and next week we've got something new for you. So take care, thanks for watching. May every investment you make be a good one. Until next time.